welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new. I'm super excited for today's video because I'm finally sharing my labor story. If you are new here, my name is Lauren. I just had my baby boy, my third baby, almost 2 months ago. I think he's 6 weeks now. I had to think about that. It's third baby problems, and yeah. But anyway, I've been trying to film this video, and it's hard when you have 3 kids, and I have really no help besides my husband who works full time. So it's been really hard to just find a minute to film this video, but I really wanted to because I didn't get it. Like, I felt like my labor vlog was just like kind of like all over the place because I had him so fast, and we just filmed what we could, and I don't know, I just kind of wanted to tell the story because I am super proud of it, and I don't want to forget like the details, and right now it's still pretty fresh. So I just thought I would tell my story and hope you guys enjoy this video. If you're new here, please subscribe. Post a ton of motherhood and lifestyle content, so if you like that stuff, then definitely stick around. But okay, so he was born on January 11th, and his due date was January 20th. So he was born at 38 weeks in a couple of days. He's right here and starting to fuss, so you might I might have to feed him, but I'm gonna feed him, so hopefully he doesn't distract me too much. But I was told that he was going to be really big, like 10 pounds big plus, 10 pounds plus. So they scheduled to induce me at 39 weeks, which was that Thursday. He was born on Tuesday. My midwife and I agreed that, like, obviously I didn't want to be induced because, by the way, I can't have an epidural because I have a bleeding disorder. So I've never had an epidural with any of my deliveries. But I've heard that being induced, the contractions are a lot stronger because of the Pitocin or whatever. Never been induced before, but that's what I've heard. So, and that's what she told me. So our goal was to try to induce labor naturally. So I've gotten my membrane stripped with all of my babies, him included, and with the girls, it put me into labor both times within 48 hours. So our goal was to have that happen. So I went to my 38-week appointment on Monday. She stripped my membranes and told me to go home and pump. She said that it was like evidence-based to like induce labor naturally. So I went home and I did that, and obviously he was born the next day, so it worked. But I'm not saying to go and pump and try to get into labor. Like, ask your doctor. Just making that clear. But anyway, sorry, I was hoping he would sleep through this. But that night, Monday night, I woke up, or I guess Tuesday morning at like 4 in the morning, I woke up and I lost my mucus plug, and I was super excited because that has happened each time before, and it's a sign that I'm going into labor like pretty soon, within like the next day or so. I was so excited. I woke my husband up at like 4 in the morning. I'm like, oh my god, and he's like, are you in labor? I'm like, no, but I will be soon. My mom came in that Sunday because we knew that my membranes were getting stripped, and you know, if history repeats itself, I would have the baby before Thursday. With Ella, my oldest, I lost my mucus plug in the morning, and I had her by 11 p.m. at night. With Lila, my second, I lost my mucus plug like the day before, and then I had her the next day, so it was like 24 hours. So I didn't really know what to expect this time. I could have him that day, or maybe it would be the next day. So I just like carried on. I told my husband to go to work, and we were just gonna like, you know, nothing was happening. It wasn't having any contractions, nothing was happening. I just lost my mucus plug, which I know people can like lose it, and it doesn't mean anything. You could, you know, lose it and not have it for weeks from what I've read. So anyway, I went to take my daughter to school, and then we went to Target. My mom and I and Lila were at Target, and we were just walking around, and I started to feel like I was like leaking. I've never felt like this before, so I wasn't really sure. You know, third time mom, but I would assume like when you lose your when your water breaks, it would be a lot of water. But this wasn't a lot of water. It was just, I don't know, I was like, am I peeing myself? Like, I didn't know what was happening. So I was like, Mom, I don't know if my water is breaking. Like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and it was just like clear water. Like, it was just like nothing really at all. And I was like, okay, I don't know what this is. I'm just like leaking water, I guess. Like, I don't really know. I didn't really think too much of it because I wasn't having any contractions. I felt completely normal, and it wasn't a ton of water. And then it just kept like leaking throughout the morning, and I like had to put a pad on, but it still wasn't that much. It was just kind of getting gross, like, you know, like I'm like, why am I leaking? And still no contractions. So I actually had to go get a COVID test, and because I was supposed to be induced on Thursday, so I had to have a COVID test. So we were on our way to go get the test done, and I started having like some contractions, and mom was like, start timing them and see, and then, you know, like contact your doctor. So I messaged her because sometimes like that's a faster way to get through to them, because sometimes you'll call and then they'll have to like, we'll have to wait anyway. So I was like, oh, I figure I'll just like message her, and that way like they can call me. So I messaged my doctor and I timed my contractions, and they were all over the place. Like they would go from being a couple minutes apart to being like an hour apart, you know. So I was like, okay, nothing is happening. These might be contractions, but they're not consistent at all. And they're not really like hurting, like I don't know what's going on. So around 2 o'clock they started to pick up a little bit more. I haven't heard back from my doctor, so I decided to call, and then I spoke to a nurse and I told her like what was going on, and she's like, you need to go to the hospital. That sounds like your water's breaking, and if it is, they're gonna admit you. So like plan to go to the hospital and not come back, because if your water, you know, if you're leaking water, you're gonna have this baby pretty soon. And I was like, okay, like I had no idea. Like I knew it was probably my water, but I didn't think I'd be having a baby anytime soon, because I told her like my contractions are not consistent. And she was like, I would probably go soon, like knowing how fast your labors are, because I've had both my girls like super fast, like under 8 hours. So I was like, okay. So I called my husband. I was in the school pickup line, I couldn't get out, so I told the nurse that. She was like, that's fine, try to get there within 2 hours if you can. So she like told the hospital I was coming. So I called Tommy and I told him, and he was like, okay, like I'm leaving work now, like do you want me to meet at the hospital, like because he thought I would be going immediately. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get Ella, we'll say bye to the kids, get them situated, and then we're gonna go. I had my bag all ready to go, he was packing his bag, and then we were off. So we got to the hospital I think around like 4:30, maybe almost 5, and they checked me to see if I was dilated and if that really was my water, and it confirmed that it was. I wasn't very dilated. I was at like a 3 or a 4. So I was like, okay, nothing, you know, too crazy. And the contractions were not anything crazy, but they were starting to become more consistent, kind of starting to pick up a little bit. I was like, okay, I guess I am in labor because I am feeling contractions now. When we got there, I still wasn't feeling like contractions, and I was asking like, am I having contractions, when they hooked me up to the monitor, and she showed me that I was. I was like, okay, they don't really hurt that bad, so maybe this is a good sign. And I hope like this happens fast, because I'm not that dilated, my contractions are not that strong, and I don't want to be in labor for a very long time. So they had me in triage. They told me I'd get a room within an hour. Contractions started to pick up a lot pretty quick after that. Like after they admitted me, I just felt like the contractions really started to pick up. I was having to like not talk through them and breathe through them, and they just started to get a little bit more intense. And I was like, okay, I really am in labor now. They told me I would be getting a room within an hour, and that didn't happen, which kind of was annoying, because I didn't really want to be laboring in triage the whole time, especially because I can't have an epidural, and I wanted to be able to like walk around and like use my birth ball and everything, but that didn't happen. So around like 7 o'clock, I think it was shift change, I thought we'd be getting a room, and we weren't. And the nurse who was taking care of me before like didn't come in to like check on me or anything, and the nurse who was taking over didn't either. And at this time I felt like my contractions were really starting to pick up. I felt like there was a change in my body, and like things were going to be happening soon. So I had my husband go and grab the nurse, or a nurse, and he just went out in the hall and was like, she thinks that something's happening, she needs somebody. So they came in. I asked if I could go to the bathroom because I was feeling a lot of pressure. Sorry, my back is hurting. But the nurse told me that she didn't really want me to go to the bathroom because she didn't want me to push the baby out. And I was like, I don't have to push, I'm just feeling pressure and I need to go to the bathroom. So she walked me to the bathroom, and I couldn't even I couldn't walk to the bathroom without support, because I was having contractions like that consistent. Like they were super strong. I was like moaning and groaning and having to hang onto the wall, but I still wanted to go to the bathroom. And I just heard the nurses like yelling in the hallway, like trying to get me a room. Like, I don't know, I could just tell like they were starting to freak out, and I heard her say like, we don't want her to have this baby in triage, but like she's really progressing. And long story short, Tommy grabbed the nurse again, was like, listen, she has babies really quick. If she's telling you that she's feeling pressure and like things are changing, like they are. And I think at this point they were starting to believe it, because after I got back from the bathroom, it was like, that was it. Like I don't know, walking to the bathroom like helped like go even more, but I was like, this baby's coming, like I'm having him soon. I don't really remember too much other than like me begging to stand because I just needed to stand and have Tommy put like pressure on my back, but they wouldn't let me because they didn't want me to like have the baby. I don't know, I wasn't allowed to, which was like super frustrating because I did not want to labor in the bed, but I didn't have a choice. And then all I remember is them wheeling me from my room to my triage room to like the labor room. I think that was at like 7:45. I really remember is being pushed in my bed from the triage, the other side of the hospital where like the labor room was or whatever, and getting in the room and having to get out of bed and get in the new bed and just being in so much pain. Like was not sure how I was gonna do this. I got in my room, I got in my bed, and there was a bunch of like people in the room like introducing themselves. I was like, I don't care who you are, just do what you have to do to get this baby out of me. So a few minutes after I got into my room, I think it was around like 8 o'clock, I told the nurse like I have to push, and she was like, okay, let me check you. And she checked me and she told me I was only at a 5. And I was like, no way, there's no way that I'm only at a 5. Like I feel like I have to push, like there's absolutely no way that I'm only a 5. And I felt so discouraged. I remember I started crying and I was like, how am I gonna do this? Like I don't want to do this. How am I only at a 5? Like I'm in so much pain. I know I have to push. I can feel him. Like what am I supposed to do? She told me not to push because my cervix wasn't ready and it could cause like different problems or whatever. And I was like, but I can't help it, my body's literally pushing him. She said his head was right there, so that was the pressure I was feeling, but like my cervix wasn't ready. I don't even know how that works because it was the most insane feeling, because I literally felt my body pushing him out with each contraction. I wasn't even pushing, my body was pushing it. Like that didn't happen with the girls, and I didn't have an epidural with them either. So I don't know what was going on, but it was insane. It was absolutely insane. They gave me nitrous oxide. I used it like one time. It didn't do anything, but I think at this point like they thought like she's in so much pain, she's at a 5, only at a 5, and she's in this much pain, like we have a long way to go. But a few minutes later, like maybe 10 minutes later, I told her I had to push again, and she was like, we just checked you, you're at a 5. And I was like I know, but I have to push. I don't think she like really believed me because like again, she just checked me and I was at a 5. And she felt me and she was like, oh, okay, you're fully dilated. And all the, like she got her like walkie-talkie and like everybody was in the room. Like it happened so fast. I don't even know where they came from, but like everybody was in the room. It was just so quick. Everybody was getting set up and she told me I could start pushing, so I did. So I started pushing and he was out in 3 like big pushes. I think it was like under 2 minutes from the time that she checked me to the time that he was out. She told me that I went from a 5 to fully like dilated and pushing in 20 minutes. And I read like the notes in my chart, and it is so weird to see that like I started pushing at 8:20 and he was born at 8:22. Like it says that, which I like didn't even know like it kind of had those kind of details, but it does. And I just was in so much shock when he was born. I just kept looking at Tommy like, what the heck just happened? Because he came so fast. So I went to the hospital at like 4:35, not even like that much pain, didn't even really know I was in labor, and I had him before 8:30 at night. Like they weren't even planning to check me again until like 9 o'clock, I think, because they said that like they check you every 4 hours until you're at a 5 or a 6. And I mean, they weren't planning to check me again until like 9 from the first time they checked me. And I had him before that. Like I'm still just mind blown by it because he really did come so fast. Like I almost had him in triage. If Tommy didn't push them to give me a room, I would have had him in triage for sure, because they really believed me when I came in the room and I was like, I'm gonna have him soon. They weren't like, I don't know, I didn't feel like they were rushing to get me a room. They're like, okay, we're gonna get you a room soon, like you'll have your room soon, it'll be okay. And then, you know, finally Tommy was like, no, she's gonna have this baby soon, like, and it's gonna be in triage, like you guys got to get her a room. Like, and I even said like, I don't want to have this baby in triage, like I just want to have a labor room. Like I just wanted to labor in a room so bad. I don't know, I was just like picturing doing things differently, like walking around the room, bouncing on the birth ball, like it just being different than what it was. But it was still like amazing and cool, and I'm really proud of myself because I know like in the moment of when they told me that I was only at a 5, I don't think I've ever felt so discouraged before. Because when you are in that much like pain and you just don't know when it's gonna end, and I just for sure thought like, this is it, like they're gonna tell me when to 10, I'm gonna start pushing. So when I heard you're only at a 5, I was like, how am I gonna do this? And it was just so discouraging. But I should have listened to my body, because I knew that like that was not right. Like I knew that I had to push, and I remember telling Tommy like, I have to push, you know, like I don't know the science behind things, but they told me like, do not push. So I was trying really hard not to push when they told me not to when I was only at a 5, because she said like I could hurt myself or whatever. So I was like, okay, don't push. But my body was doing it anyway, and that was the craziest thing of all. Is like I literally with the contractions felt my body pushing him. Hard to explain, but I don't know how else to explain it. But it was literally the most amazing moment. Like they told me to feel it, like they're like, oh, you could feel his head, and I did, and I was like, oh my god, like I just was in so much shock. Like I wasn't like grossed out or anything, it was more of like, holy crap, like he's there, like he's right here, I'm gonna meet him in like 2 seconds. Like this is insane, because like I said, I thought I was gonna be in labor for a long time. I was not expecting it to go that quick. Like I didn't even get to open my hospital bag to use any of the things that I brought. I brought like a fan, I brought like all this stuff to like help me, like my AirPods. No, I didn't get to put on any playlist, like nothing. Like it went from getting to triage, getting like set up with your monitors, to starting to feel a little bit of contractions but like not be that bad, to like all of a sudden intense, like this baby's coming. And it just happened so quick. Like I'm still mind blown when I think about it. And the first couple weeks after I had him, like it was all I could talk about, because I was just so like amazed by myself. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I really was. I was just amazed. Like it's crazy what our bodies can do. And I'm just really proud of myself. Really proud of myself for being able to get through without an epidural, but I think I would be just as proud of myself even if I had an epidural. Because bringing a baby into this world is like the most amazing thing ever. Women, moms are absolutely incredible, and I'm just so proud of myself. So a month and a half later, and I'm still, I could still talk about my story, my labor story forever. I'm still in shock by it. Like truly, I think one of the memories that I'll have forever, like one of my favorite memories, will be them telling me like he's right there, and looking up at Tommy and being like, what? Like, and us both being in shock, because I don't think either of us really expected it. It happened so quick. I didn't even know Tommy got footage of it, because it just happened so quick. But like he had his phone, I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. I was just trying to get this baby out. And truly, like I just pushed him out with, you know, under 2 minutes, and I thought that was pretty fast and pretty intense. So anyway, that is my labor story, my 3rd baby. If I were to have a 4th, which I don't know if we will, I do wonder like how fast that one will go. Because imagine if I didn't go to the hospital when they told me to. I don't even know if I would have made it like to the hospital in time. It's just crazy. So anyway, that's my labor story. If you can't tell, I'm like really proud of myself and just so in love with my little guy. He's laying right here now. If you want to watch the birth vlog, I will link that. I'm going to do a video on like natural labor tips too, so be on the lookout for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you later. Bye. I see it in your eyes.